Hi guys, welcome back to Old Southern Kitchen and Garden. Today, since it's getting close to the holidays, I thought I would take you through a few of the side dishes I like to make. They are traditional side dishes with a twist that we've always done in my family, but today we're going to do a green bean casserole. Now, what we're going to need for the green bean casserole is some mushrooms. This is shallots. It's 4 shallots, which add a more robust flavor to your dishes than a typical onion does. It'll give you more of an onion flavor. 3 tablespoons of butter, and I have 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup of half and half, and we also have the green beans, which I've already prepared most of the green beans, but if you haven't done it before, you just snap off the tips like so. And then what I like to do is snap them in half. The whole, you can leave them whole if you want, but I snap them in half because first off, it'll fit in my pan much better and they'll cook a little bit quicker. Now, to get started, what we're going to do is parboil the green beans because it would take so long for them to cook if you just put them in raw into the dish. So most people will tell you that they will boil their green beans in plain water with a little salt. But of course, I like to take it a step further. And what I like to do is I boil it in chicken broth. That chicken broth will add the saltiness to it, but it'll also add so much flavor to the green beans before they even go into the dish. So what I'm going to do is so I'm going to get the green beans started because that will take, I like to boil them approximately 6 minutes, and that'll get them to the perfect al dente that we can actually add into our green bean casserole. Okay, the first step is to melt the butter in the pan. Now, why am I doing the butter and the cream? It's in place of one of the pre-made cream soups that most people add to it. I like to make my own because it's going to taste a lot better with fresh ingredients than it will if you just use a can, and it is really simple to make. Now, we're going to take all of the shallots, and we want to cook these down until they're translucent and almost turning into a caramel, which will take a few minutes. That's why I wanted to get these in and the green beans boiling prior to putting the casserole together. Now, while it is simmering down on the stove, I do want to add a little bit of salt. I like to season along the way, but I am only adding a little bit at this point because I do have, as I said, chicken broth with the green beans. So I don't want to add too much all at once. Once the onions do start to simmer, and I mean, you can tell I sliced them really thin, so they are already breaking down and getting a little soft. I'm going to add in the mushrooms also. You can, at this point, add you can add basically any herbs, or like we love mushrooms. That's why I'm doing mushrooms. You can also add chicken stock in it instead of milk, but I like a good creamy green bean casserole. That's why I'm adding this combination. So I'm going to let this cook down, and I will be back in a minute to show you the next steps. Okay, guys, as you can see, we got some nice color on both the mushrooms and the onions. And at this point, I like to add a little garlic. And we're going to cook that until it just gets fragrant. Then we're going to come in with a little bit of butter and let that melt. I'm just adding a tablespoon at this point, and the only reason I'm adding it is because we're going to add flour, and I want to have some liquid for that flour to cook into. And I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. This is going to make a light roux, so we can make the thick, creamy sauce that is going to be replacing the cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup that is normally used. If you could smell it in here, just the onions and garlic cooking is amazing. And then we're going to add 1 cup, and I'm using half and half today. You can use milk. You can use 2% milk or fat-free milk at this point. It's going to thicken rather quickly. And since it is a little thicker than I like it, I'm going to add a little chicken broth to add just a little more flavor. And so that we have a nice base for the green beans. We want this sauce to coat the green beans. And this is just like if you're making the normal one, you would add a cup of milk to the cream of mushroom soups. Just want to keep adding until you get the consistency that you like. Like I said, it's going to be baking, so I want it thin, but not too thin. And at this point, I'm going to also add some more black pepper, because if you know Dale, if he cannot see the black flakes, then it's not enough black pepper. And I'm going to lower the heat to very low. I don't want it to thicken anymore. I just want it to be ready for these green beans, which are about to go in. And a little salt. As you can see, now it's a beautiful, thick sauce. And the green beans have been boiled, and then I took them out. We're going to just coat this with the sauce. Once you take them out of the water, you do want to make sure that you cool the green beans off completely. And at this point, I'm going to turn the heat off. And look how beautiful that is. And that's basically a green bean casserole. Now, this is a half a recipe that's meant to feed 2 people. A couple of meals, of course. You can double this recipe easily for a Thanksgiving crowd, but it is really just a Tuesday right now for me and Dale, so I'm going to leave it like this. But we're going to go back to the counter, and we're going to plate it all up and get it ready for the oven. So to put it together, we're just going to pour it into our dish, and as you can see, this is a smaller dish. Just make sure you get all of that goodness in there. Okay. Now, what else is going to make this a little different than most is another secret ingredient that I love to add to green beans, and that is Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add a topping of Parmesan on it. What that's going to do is it's going to crisp up some. It's going to brown, but it's also going to give you that beautiful Parmesan flavor throughout the entire casserole. Now, what do I do now is usually I would put it in a 350-degree oven and bake it for approximately 30 minutes. You'll notice that'll be nice and bubbling and good. But the beauty of this dish is you can make it ahead. So I can technically cover this, put it in the fridge, and it would be good in the fridge for 3 or 4 days before I actually bake it. But what you have to remember is if it's cold from the fridge, you're going to want to add 5 to 10 minutes to that baking time because you'll have to get it up to temperature and then you'll let it cook and come up to the bubbling phase. So let me get this in the oven and I'll show you the finished product, guys. All right, guys, the casserole has been baking for 30 minutes and I wish you could smell on here the Parmesan, the creamy sauce. It smells amazing. So after 30 minutes, what you're going to want to do, and yes, I did buy just over the counter, but you're going to want to add crispy onions to the top. You could fry these yourselves, which I've done before. It's basically fried shallots. All you have to do is batter them, soak them in a little milk batter, then dredge them in flour and fry them. So we're going to put this on top. And then we're going to bake it for another 5 to 10 minutes just to crisp it up. And this will be ready to eat. I'm going to put this back in the oven and I'll be back with you in a minute. It's been an additional 10 minutes. This has been baking, and as you can see, all the onions are extremely crispy. And this is the completed product. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. It's creamy. Let's get a little serving of this, just so you can see what it looks like. As you can tell, it's a little hot. I would not eat it this second.
Dairy and actually the tin. Big.
But this is something, I mean, it's technically supposed to be served on Thanksgiving, Christmas, some major holiday, but why not serve this every day? It's fresh green beans, a creamy sauce. You can't go wrong. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. Like this video, share it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our page. We'd love to take you along with our journey of cooking and gardening. And until the next time, I'll talk at you on the next video.
So you start laughing because they take a like that.